that loud? Hola, folks. This is Mr. Sean Annikins coming at you live with some more Scum and Villainy. It's actually happening. It is actually friggin' happening. And luckily enough, we actually have an actual honest-to-goodness pilot, but we'll get to that in just a moment. For now, I'd like to welcome you back. If this is your first time joining us, Scum and Villainy is a Forged in the Dark game, similar to Apocalypse World and Blades in the Dark. A tabletop RPG that is very narrative in direction and is focused on sci-fi and futuristic elements. So we hope you'll enjoy that. I have with me here today Bon Riot Balgon, also known as DM Thunder 64. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone how you've been doing, what you've been up to, that sort of thing.
I've been doing all right. Just been enjoying, the summer weather when I'm not dying of heat, anyways, which is most of the time. But we can ignore that much for now. As well, I've just been looking back on some old games. Been getting back into The Witcher 3. Been excited because Monster Hunter World coming to PC soon enough, in about a month or so. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard about that. I took a look at it. The graphics look definitely updated from the old Monster Hunter games, especially the ones on like PSP or the Nintendo handhelds. Handhelds.
Yeah.
But the basic gameplay seems to be pretty similar to the old Monster Hunter games.
It is very similar, but it has been streamlined quite a bit. I basically avoided the game on PS4, even though I have a PS4, because I don't play it that much anymore, except for it's basically a Bloodborne machine now. But I have been wanting to get the version on PC, because I figure that's probably going to be the better one, and I'll play it more often. And looks pretty alright. Not too much of a overhaul from console, but still, I think it's going to be a pretty good time when that comes out in about a month. But other than that, yeah, just been getting into some other games. Just been hanging out, and obviously DMing a D&D game every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/EFSFRaven. But we'll get to that later. No, that's basically me.
Wow, doing your shoutros out of order. I'll keep that in mind. You know what you should get on PS4 though, for real, is Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami. Fantastic friggin' games, especially if you like Japanese culture or like mini games and stuff like that. It's fantastic. It's one of the best series that's going on right now.
Good to know.
All right. Moving on here a little bit. Aaron, how you been doing? What's been going on?
I've been alright. I got new glasses.
Yeah, I saw those. They look pretty good.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy with them, and also like pretty happy to not be having headaches because I'm wearing broken glasses.
Yeah, the headaches I think would probably be the number one thing here, because like having broken glasses, okay, whatever, you know, you can tape those together, whatnot, but not having actual like pain from something that should not be broken is pretty important. It's pretty healthy for a good day.
Yeah, but vanity is also a factor. Let's be real.
Fair enough. What have you been up to other than just new glasses?
Not that much really. I've been getting back into my 3D work. Playing a lot of Sims 4 Seasons.
Oh yeah, you have a playthrough going on with that, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I actually just posted the newest episode 10 this morning. Because it's morning for me.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, we will get into that in the shoutros. Other than that, thank you, and let's go ahead and move on over to Cranston. What are you doing up, man?
I mean, not much. I'm surviving, trying to plot out this campaign now that we're actually getting into the level where stories can happen pretty easily. They hit level 5 after their last dungeon delve. And I've been trying to figure out where to go from there since 2 Saturdays ago. I took off this Saturday for the holiday, and I also, like I said in the chat, I've been working at a restaurant to try to earn a little bit of extra money, and that actually led to me pretty much breaking my glasses. I wiped out Saturday on the...
Oh no, what happened?
I decided to try to skate in the kitchen. Not really. They had just mopped. I was walking, and my shoes need a little bit rework on that tread area. I didn't have enough traction. Just bit it. Luckily, I wasn't carrying anything or anything like that.
Are these like rollerblades, or like did you try to ice skate or something? Is your kitchen frozen over?
No, they had just mopped, and my shoes, the tread on the shoes had kind of worn out. They're about a year old shoes. So I didn't have any traction, so I stepped on the wet floor and just bit it.
Well, damn. Did it taste very good?
No, actually it didn't. I'm still sore.
Oh man, that sucks, man. Well, here's to a speedy recovery and to having all of the ideas in the world for your campaign. Are they like... I think you said that they were in a big fucking dungeon, right? Did it lead into like the Underdark or something?
No, it wasn't like a big dungeon. What it was a ancient temple to that held some artifacts that they were looking for. They found said artifact and basically pulled an Indiana Jones getting out of there. As it collapsed around them, and that's where I got to figure out where we go from there.
Alrighty then. Well, that sounds like quite the adventure, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. Alright, so with some recent changes in the lineup and recent changes to the pilot position, I've decided to quote-unquote hire on a temporary pilot in place of our previous pilot who created Rusty, and that person is Great Mustache. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, just running around, getting some stuff ready for some games that I run, and then trying to get some 3D printing worked out. My machine's been acting up, so I've been repairing it and rewiring it.
Yeah, you had mentioned to me a couple days before that you were working on it pretty fierce and trying to get everything situated. You said that you'd made a bunch of modifications to try and make it run a lot quieter.
Yeah, it's actually running a lot quieter, which is cool. I put some basically cork between the main drive motors and where it connects to the chassis, so that helps quiet it down. But I'm having a strange glitch, and I'm not sure if it's because I have a fan that's under a board that has a slight magnetism to it, so I got to remove that and then do further testings. But on some of my prints, it's suddenly like it's like the board suddenly thinks that instead of the printing plane being flat, it's like at a 30-degree angle, and so the print head starts behaving weirdly. But it's not every time, so it's really weird.
I wonder if it has anything to do with like going towards that fan and it just like pulls it in or something.
Yeah, I got to figure it out. I'm gonna remove that particular fan because it's not critical, and then see if it continues to do that. But I printed off for another guy asked me to print a bunch of moving trays for like Warhammer 40K when you got like big troops, and so it's like a little tray that can hold 5 figures at once, and then you can move the figures a lot easier that way. So I managed to get those all printed.
Interesting that it's 5 figures when, like, I think Space Marine companies are like 10 to 20, somewhere around there.
Well, I printed off like 20 of the trays.
Oh, Jesus. Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. So, GM, you're an actual GM of several different games. Another one of which I play in, another of which I actually DM, which is ending on Friday. That is the Sprawl game, and then there's the Open Legend game, of course. How would you say that those games, or at least your other weekly games, are going?
They're going pretty good. I mean, I've got a crazy group that you're involved with that's 7 players, and it's herding cat, so that always is an interesting session.
I am the largest cat.
Yes, yeah, Girl will definitely make some interesting things in that session. But it's going well, and you and I are kind of working on it because we're looking at sort of dual GMing it, but not with 2 different groups.
Yeah. We are kind of doing a West Marches kind of thing where we're opening up the world and the campaign to more players, but yeah, we might talk about that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and get started in the game. Everybody good to go here?
Good to go.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it's been so long that I don't know that I remember how to play anymore, but you know.
Oh, that's just harmful. We'll have to rectify that particular situation.
I think that'll be okay because I think Rusty's waking up with retrograde amnesia. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So, just to kind of get everyone in the mindset, does anyone want to try and recall what happened last session?
So I recall not much. Basically, what happened was we got some transmissions after doing some downtime. Bond recovered. Needles had some interesting encounters with some of her family, as well as resupplied, and believe Gizmo did some training. Apologies, not much happened. Either way, after the downtime, we got a few transmissions about some incoming jobs, as well as a few warnings that one of those jobs was probably bad juju, so we decided not to go with that, and instead, we took a simpler job. Basically, this guy who seems to be rather high up, at least to a certain extent, part of the names. There we go.
Right,
Part
that would
of
be
the Dennis Syndicate.
yeah,
One.
Victor Bax.
Victor Bax, yes. One Victor Bax basically told us that his son, Krantz, he's not the best kid. He's a bit of a gambler and not too good at it either, and got himself in a spot of trouble. Some people are after him. He's over holed up in some complex on the other side of the system, and we're to go get him. Bring him back. If he's unharmed, then, well, we get a payout. But there are a few people after him as well as us, so should probably get going. And that was about it, aside from some interaction ado with the man himself and his guard, the place we were in, the promenade, I believe. No, that's not it. Point is, we were at some space casino that was floating around this moon. Had a few interactions with the guard, the patrons, and the man himself, but we got the job as the important part, and we ended off being shuttled back to our ship and punching in the coordinates for the whatever system or whatever planet, whatever place, whatever city that his son, Krantz, happened to be at. So, there we go. That's what I remember of the last session anyways. Do correct me if I got anything wrong.
Yeah, a little rough, like I said, but it was called the Stray Light, the bar that you guys met Victor at, and it was... The job was to find and acquire Victor, or not Victor, but Kranzbacks, and you were going to bring him back to the Stray Light and return him safe and sound to Victor, and then you guys would get paid. We ended on you guys having rolled the fortune roll, the engagement roll, for the upcoming mission, Operation Cats in the Cradle, as you guys apparently called it. So, now I need to know what all of your loads will be.
Alright. I'll go with normal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Maelstrom, so I feel like normal is not really that noticeable amongst a bunch of space pirates.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with normal as well. Same reasoning. I mean,
Absolutely.
bunch of space pirates, I don't think they'd be too offended if I showed up ready to kick their teeth in. Because they're also going to be ready to kick my teeth in.
Alright,
Yeah,
sure.
I'll probably go with the party here and go with the normal.
Okay. Alright, so picture it. The scene opens. We see the Scum and Villainy Ambition logo, and then it fades, and we see the Liberated, the ship, traveling through warp space. And then all of a sudden warp space ends, and the picture of the cove comes back into view, much like where we were last time. Now, what you guys know is that last time you tried to pose as a freighter of some sort. Are you going to try and do that again, or is someone else going to try to pass you guys off, or are you just gonna head in there? What's kind of like the angle here? Because I know that a couple of you had mentioned that you might try and use Audra's contacts to get into the cove.
We'd also mentioned using Khan's contact as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's really a case of which of us thinks that, like, we have a stronger contact with the cove.
Maybe that's something you should decide.
Don't you owe your contact money?
Yes.
I don't owe my contact money. We're just friends.
Well, okay then.
Well then, in that case, Karn, who is your contact?
My contact is an old gambling buddy named Zav, Z-A-V.
Alright. And he is on the Cove, hanging out with the Maelstrom Pirates?
Yep.
Alright. And how do you know this Zav?
I beat him. Well, we gamble, and the last time I played him, I won his arm.
Like an actual, just fuck off body part arm?
Well, no, it's a prosthetic.
Okay.
And so he likes you. Why?
Because before that, he won one of my drones. We're friends. That's what we do.
Yeah, you know, friends are just in the habit of exchanging arms here and there.
Friendship is munching on a well-cooked face together.
That's an old
I
one.
might be doing friendship wrong then.
Maybe.
Guys, I'm a sociopath with a long history of violence. How do you keep forgetting this?
It's interesting that this is also a character trait that I find in another character that you play. Okay. So, that's your contact to get in, but what does
I
Zev
didn't
do?
actually take his arm.
You just want it. He's
It's
on
technically mine.
It's on layaway for you.
Yeah.
So, what does Zav do? Like, as a profession? Is he a professional gambler?
Yeah, he is a professional gambler.
Okay. So that'll definitely get you into the casino. How are you guys going to get past the multitudes of pirate ships as well as, like, proton cannons and hard light cannons that are, like, pointed at your ship right now?
We don't.
Well, mission's
Oh, well,
over.
that's a
See you
short
guys later.
campaign, yeah.
Would that just be really good piloting, or trying to like
I mean, if
do
you
something
want
with the
to,
ship?
if you think you can pilot through all of these guns, you're certainly able to try, but it's going to be. I'm going to tell you, it's going to at least be a desperate position.
Sure. Now, since this is a pirate area, the guild license item that I could have probably wouldn't apply. That's like more for getting through jump gates.
Yeah, that would be for getting through regulated jump gates, because primarily the jump gates are between system, so they're interstellar rather than intrastellar. Generally, anything in a system is close enough that you can just do with your regular FTL drives, your warp drives that are on your ship, rather than needing to be propelled by a mass gravity engine, sort of like what we have now in this game,
Sure.
and sort of like Mass Effect.
So is there like a homing beacon or something that would identify to all these pirates that you're A-OK, you're one of them, good friends buddy type thing, or is this like a ton of different pirates?
Well, the Maelstrom is, well, for lack of a better term, pirates. They're not exactly unified, but they have common goals, you know, to well, loot that booty, as it were.
Mm.
Now, you can try and alter your transponder, much like you guys did when last you were here, and manufacture a false transponder signal, so that ships who at least aren't looking outside of their main viewport windows will see you as someone else. That would be probably a rig or a hack, I would say. Probably be the two most likely candidates.
Since I'm just jumping in here, does that sound like something to go for with you guys? I only have one in rig.
I can definitely give us a hack real quick if that's what we want to do. I was just gonna let somebody else come up with a plan since I got a way in. Yeah, I would like to try to change our transponder again. I'll have to perform a hack.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, and that's going to be a risky position. Effect is going to be standard.
Alright. I do have a fine hacking rig.
And I'm not entirely sure that it would be of use here, because it's not like you're trying to bypass security systems. This is more so just to change what the computer thinks it should be displaying to people, essentially.
Okay. Alright.
Woo! That's a crit! Yay! Well, starting off the roll's pretty good here.
Alright.
Also, we get a gambit.
You also do get a gambit, yes. So your gambit should reset to 2 at the start of the job, but you also get an extra one, so you're at 3 now. That is on this sheet.
It's not on the ship sheet, is it?
It should be. I believe there's a thing for
Yeah,
it.
there is. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
We're at 3. Cool. And by the way, gambits, mustache are a thing different from blades, but they're basically a free dice if you want to take it. However,
okay.
can only be used on, I think, only be used on riskies.
You can use them on any roll, but you can only generate them on riskies.
Right. Okay.
So
they're a team pool, basically.
yeah, they're a team meta pool that gives you an extra die.
Cool.
And you guys have 3 currently. Alright, so Karn,
I do have one question. I
for it.
think it might be because of my color blindness, but I'm looking at the special abilities. Is that first one the one that's selected, or is there one that's selected on Risky's sheet?
On Rusty's sheet, yeah,
Rusty's sheet, yeah.
there are 2 selected there. So there's the starting ability, which you always get, which is Ace Pilot, and then special abilities, which he selected Exceed Specs.
Okay.
There isn't actually a physical change. I thought like the arrow went down or something, but no, it's just
Yeah, it's just
a glowy effect.
it just turns it blue.
Yeah, that's probably why I can't see it. It's probably too light of a blue.
Mm.
But okay, got it.
Alright. Colorblindness holding you back, man.
I know. And he is at 2 stress? That would still be correct.
I believe so, yeah. Because he hasn't... He has had time for downtime, but I don't think he's really had a whole lot of time to
Indulge
gain...
vice.
Yeah. Well, really to gain a vice. In story terms, we were going to have him pick up a vice probably from someone else on board the ship, but
Sure.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Sounds good.
All right, Karn Cronson, you just crit this hack roll, You have full control over exactly what the transponder looks like. What do you make this ship appear to be?
I would like it to be. I don't know. Probably just a freighter again. Maybe a different call sign though.
Okay. What are you guys shipping?
Let's see. Do we have a read on where exactly this guy is staying in the cove at all?
Not specifically, but you heard from Victor that he likes to gamble, and Cronson's idea was that he was going to contact his contact, as it were, and try to hear through them, through kind of like the gambling grapevine, whether or not Krantz had been in the area.
Then let's find or think of something that would theoretically be delivered to a bar, or not a bar, a casino. So I don't know if it would be like
Space booze.
yeah, space booze.
You could do that. Is that what you want to do?
Space liqueurs.
100 proof. Space liqueur.
Space wine glasses and some space martini glasses with a little space olive on.
Oh, we're the space catering supply superstore.
Yes.
What are you doing, Cronson? What are you reporting that's in your hold?
I am going to report spice.
Spice, okay. Are we talking like...
Spice.
God damn it.
Spice is essential for space travel.
Okay. That kind of spice then. Cool. Alright, I'm going to say with that critical success, you look like a very well-defended spice freighter vessel. In fact, because of that great success there, I'm going to say that you managed to hack into some of the communications networks that are transmitting through subspace around you, and you managed to learn the password to getting into the pirates' good favor here. Whether you do so is entirely up to you, but you now know what that is.
Yes.
And it's going to be... It's going to be... Dead men tell no tales. That's going to be the password.
Lovely. That is a very pirate-esque.
Okay. So you're able to get in, and Rusty Gizmo gives you the go-ahead to continue flying and points out a couple of places on what is essentially a flotilla of conjoined ships, junks, space debris, tubes from habitats, and space stations, all just kind of super glued together in one big chunk, with hundreds if not thousands of ships flying around it and docking with it all over the place. This is the Cove, and it is covered in Maelstrom pirates. You guys give over the transponder code and display it proudly. And they don't think that you're anything more than just a spice trader, though spices themselves are quite valuable, so we'll see where that goes.
Cool. So yeah, Rusty would fly it in and I guess go into a landing dock or a bay.
Yeah. There's a like kind of gambling area, a few different places set up in a spot, and the ship itself is a little too large probably to dock fully, but you guys do have a shuttle that you can use to dock into the actual like hangar, and the shuttle fits perfectly. And as its engines kind of whir down and the doors open, you were, for once in your lives, after getting off of this shuttle, you were not greeted by guards.
Finally.
Nice.
So I do have one question looking at my load. Like, something I can grab is a spacesuit. Would we need a spacesuit for this particular mission?
Doesn't appear to. At least not right now. That might change.
Sure.
Thanks for giving me the idea, by the way.
Well, because I'd originally checked it, but I wasn't sure.
Well, in Blades, you don't need to check anything. You just need to declare what your load is, and then over the course of the
Later.
mission,
Got
you
it.
can determine if you need something. Just say that you have it, and it's part of your load. But obviously,
Okay,
you can
cool.
only choose up to your load of items.
Right. Okay, cool.
Okay, so you guys land. Is anyone diving out? Everyone diving out? What are you guys doing?
I'm going towards the casino.
Okay.
I think at this point, basically, we dock, get things situated, and head on out to start investigating.
Okay.
Yeah, based on the fact that I've got like a lot of sway, I'm guessing I'll be a little bit of the face here.
All right. Cool. Rusty kind of steps forward and puts his best smile on, which impresses even you a little bit, Bond.
Yeah, I'll just try and get us in. Now, do we think this guy would be in the like VIP area or the high stakes area, or is he just going to be in the normal area?
I would guess. I'd guess high stakes or maybe the dumpster. We'll see.
Yeah, so I'd
could
try and like get us to get into the more high stakes area, I would think.
Okay. Well, you can definitely try that and try to use your sway and stuff, but I believe everyone had agreed to use Gizmo's contact and try to get in that way.
Yes.
So what are you doing, Needles? Are you staying on the ship?
No, I'm coming with.
Okay. Alright, is everyone wearing their normal gear? Because I know you guys are obviously on a normal load, so you look like operatives, but
I only have one outfit.
okay. So if we were to put a tutu or something on you, that would not really change anything?
I'd be wearing a tutu, but I would still be in the spacesuit.
Alright.
I imagine I'm wearing like some sort of pilot regalia.
I'd imagine Bond probably has no visible armaments, but cases and pouches sort of strapped around his back and on his belt. That could be anything, but he's carrying something on him, but he is still just kind of in his normal, almost an outfit.
I think that Audra hasn't changed out of the outfit that she wore to go to the Straylight, but has like thrown her like medic coat on over the top.
Okay. Cool. And you were still wearing that dress you were wearing to the Straylight? Okay, cool. All right. And then obviously you guys would have your gear and everything either under your under your coats or just strapped to your person somewhere. Okay. And you all exit out. You are greeted by a rather sterile looking environment as you're kind of looking at the ray shield that keeps a barrier between the maintained environment and the vast void of space. As you kind of turn around, however, there are laser burns and particle shots taken in the different parts of the hangar walls. There are even a couple of rather large ship lasers that have burned through part of the hangar itself, almost pitting into what must be the next habitat building just past the hangar itself. And there are a bunch of other ships here, probably about 12 others in total. And another ship pulls in right next to you guys. And you see that there's a rather large entrance with a couple of Xenos bodyguards.
Cool.
All right, so looks important is what you're saying. All right.
Looks like a way to go.
Hmm.
And
Got to step forward with a little bit more confidence than that.
yeah. Well, he is the son of the leader of, or at least an important person in the Janus Syndicate. Wouldn't be surprised if he had some sort of protection. Don't know if it can hold up to an army, but probably can't hold up to us either. You need to get in.
Okay, Vincent.
Yeah, you are using that voice.
Am I? Shit.
Yes.
Well, okay. Bond is not one for long sentences, but didn't know how to do that in like 5 words.
You should know how to do it in one.
Fair enough.
Anyways, sorry, I'm just busting your balls. Gizmo.
Yeah, what up?
Yeah, you see these 2 Xenos bodyguards. They, perhaps I speak a little bit non-specifically. Less bodyguards, more so just people with guns. Armed persons who appear to be guarding a door.
I too am people with guns.
You are many people with guns, yes.
I think we should just walk up to the door like we're meant to be there and go through.
Bond shrugs at that and walks through the door.
Okay.
Walk with confidence. You're supposed to be here.
Cronson walks past, tries to high-five him.
Well, it would be a low 5, but none of them really pay you any mind. For those of our viewers who are not aware, Gizmo is probably the size of a dwarf, if not smaller.
Roughly.
He's about the size of a Volus from Mass Effect. Yeah, they don't seem interested in stopping you. They seem more interested in using their, most likely, anti-armor and anti-shield weaponry in order to take down offending vehicles.
Alright. Yeah, just walk on in and see if we can spot our target, or maybe a contact, who knows.
Sure. Rusty, you've never seen any creatures quite like these. They're fairly tall. They're taller than you. They're pretty stocky. And one of them has about 8 different eyes on this, like, mesa pillar of a head. And the other one has very, like, antlion-like head with 2 big bug eyes and antennae and a big kind of like pincer maw. These things are very strange and are definitely not human, at least not from what you know.
Yeah, I'll kind of spend a little bit of time like checking them over, kind of make a mental note of them.
Yeah, that sounds like a study. Why don't you go ahead and give me a study?
Position?
Position's going to be risky. Effect is going to be standard. Okay. Because you're a bit new, I'll remind you that you do have the option of using either Gambit or pushing yourself for a couple stress and taking an extra die on that, or you could try and accept a devil's bargain. I have a pretty good one for you if you want to listen.
Yeah, I don't have to accept it. I can listen to it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll listen to the devil's bargain.
The devil's bargain is, these things are really fucking strange, and you feel like if you were able to, like, maybe grab onto his mandibles a little bit, you'd probably be able to see just exactly how they work. But he probably would not be very excited about that prospect. But I'd give you either an extra die or greater effect.
If I actually grabbed onto them?
Yes.
Is there anything else in his background? Newborn. Manufactured. Just trying to get a feel for what the character was before.
Sure, yeah.
Potentially. Yeah, was he a very curious character before?
The thing is, the character before didn't have much of a personality to begin with. He was kind of a blank slate, but we assumed, or at least I assumed, from his portrait that what he was meant to be was sort of like somebody would tell him to get a personality that doesn't mind breaking the rules, and he would turn into basically the character that you can see on the portrait, like a sort of like smooth talking sorta.
You would be a pencil drawing of a 60s greaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the idea, but it never really got around to that. But play how you want, frankly.
Sure.
I believe it's pencil and pastel.
Thank you, Aaron.
So the devil's bargain will grant me another dice. But as a result, I'll actually be like grabbing onto this thing.
Correct. And just remember that any devil's bargain consequences happen regardless of any other consequences or bonuses or penalties that happen afterwards.
Right. And what is the, like, with a risky position, I vaguely remember it from Blades, but the risky position results in what happening when you fail it? When you don't get a 6 on it?
Yeah, if you don't get at least a 4 or 5, because 4 or 5 is still a partial success. A 6 is a full success.
Gotcha.
3 or less is like, it's like a 6 in Apocalypse World games. So that means that for a risky roll, bad things are going to happen, but they're not quite as bad as a desperate roll would be. It's just, you're going head to head. You could lose out big here, but it might be that you're just put into a worse position. So you'd be in a desperate position in that point, and narratively that would follow along.
Yeah, I think since I was told he only currently speaks broken Galactic Common, so he's like still learning Galactic Common.
Yeah. Yeah, because when he got on the ship, he tried speaking with everybody, and the computer noted that it was an old Terran, like ancient old Terran dialect, and he was able to speak with the ship's computer and with Bon a little bit, but didn't understand everything and just kind of like meandered his way eventually to the piloting console, and it was discovered, lo and behold, he's a whiz at piloting.
Okay. So I think, given that, I think he might be curious about learning things. So I think, yeah, I'll go ahead for funsies, take that Devil's Bargain. Do I just roll it again, or do I hit roll fortune for the extra dice?
You could just put a 1d6 in there.
Okay. Hey! That works.
It hasn't showed up for me yet. Ah, cool. So it definitely helped you figure it out.
Yeah, so I like go over there and I'm like peering at the mandibles curiously, and I reach out and I kind of, grab one to feel it.
Yeah, and at first you notice that it's very rough, but there are smooth parts of it too. Like it feels as though whatever kind of creature this is, it's probably led some sort of hard life. Let me actually grab something real quick here.
How's the rest of the team reacting as Rusty just walks up and grabs a hold of this mandible?
Karn kind of like reaches out. Hey, they don't.
Yep.
He's dead. Oh, we need a new pilot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at moves here. Yeah.
Audra kind of immediately wants to apologize to the god.
Okay. Yeah, you get the opinion that this entity has lived a very hard life. You note that there are a series of blue kind of like stains around where the mandibles form, where you would imagine its mouth would be. It looks very similar to an ant, or like an ant lion or something like that, from your memory banks. Now, you haven't seen any of those anywhere in as long as you've been awake, or at least woken up from your stasis on the ship. But you do remember what an ant looks like, and it kind of looks like an ant lion. And you think that if anything, this thing would be very, very strong. Most likely able to lift many times its own weight. And in fact, it's eager to prove that to you as...
and as I'm touching it, I'm like, Daddy-o, that's some sweet looking mandibles you got there.
Yeah, he's definitely looking at you, and all of a sudden, his mandibles unclench, and he says, don't you get your hands off of him right now? And his mandibles open wide and close upon your hand. And you see his antennae come down, and as soon as they touch your hand or hands, your hands go completely numb.
Okay.
Your hands, probably from like the middle of the forearm down, are completely numb and paralyzed. And he releases you. So I'd like you to go ahead and take, we'll say, a level 2 harm here.
Okay, so let's see, where's harm sheet?
So
Is that stress, or is that
no. So if you'll look under stress, you'll see a bunch of boxes.
recovery? Oh yeah.
They're big blank boxes. You just type in what afflicts you on the level 2. So
Okay.
you could say like paralyzed limbs or paralyzed hands or something like that.
Okay.
And after he does this, he releases your hands, and they just kind of flop to your sides. The
Now, when you
paralysis.
say 2 harm, do I fill it in at 2, or do I fill in the first 2 boxes?
You fill it in at 2.
At 2, okay.
Yep. If it were the first 2 boxes, it would be a level 1 and then another level 1. But no, it's a level 2. 1 level 2.
Okay.
Yeah, your arms kind of flop to your sides, and you're having trouble like moving your hands around. And both of the Xenos just look at you and bust out laughing at your misfortune.
I'm like, no need to be a wet rag about it.
Karn is stifling a laugh at this point.
Stifling.
Stifling. A lot of words that I know.
Well,
That are big
Stifling reminds me of Stifler from American Pie. So.
Stifling, yeah. Well, a lot of big words that I know, I learned on my own as a child.
Same
So the
here.
pronunciation, the pronunciation may be off.
I learned a lot of corrections in school and college. But it's all good. I'm just helping you be right, helping you be correct. Anyways, moving on.
Oh, I don't take offense to it at all. Thank you.
Yep. But yeah, they say, go inside. No funny business. No more, at least.
Sorry.
No promises there. He's a pretty funny guy.
Audra just like rubs her forehead and like prays for patience.
Yeah, Audra, I forget if you were able to translate any of the pamphlet that came with him, but it does say that he has like superior social graces and is able to both pilot and also act as like a waiter, or at least the maitre d'. That's the word I'm looking for. As the maitre d' on any luxury vessel.
Yeah, we got it translated by the Airbot.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you would have noted, like in the trip from the Straight Light here, that he's supposed to have these kind of social graces. But yeah, there you go.
Well, where the fuck did they go?
Yeah.
They don't translate well.
That's probably the issue.
Yeah.
Centuries old graces.
Granted, I don't think today's etiquette is to grab somebody's jowls and shake them about, saying, "Ma, aren't these great?"
Dude, if I met a giant bug, that's exactly what I would do.
You would probably end up with paralyzed arms as well.
And that's how we end up with games like Earth Defense Force.
Anyways, I think Bond's just kind of been watching this. He's been very slightly amused, but not enough to let it go on much longer. As soon as that little thing is over, Bond will just grab Rusty by the shoulders, give a nod to the Mantis, and just usher him through the door.
Okay.
And he looks down to you, Rusty, and there's this about 8-foot tall, weird lizardman above you, and he just looks at you with sort of glowing orange eyes and just says, "Don't do that again."
Yeah, I was on a trip for biscuits, I guess, on that.
Don't say that again.
No, I like it. You gotta let him talk. Just let him talk.
Should I try and fix him, or does he need to learn a lesson?
He's fine. He's new. He'll get used to it.
Well, my arms are a little bit floppy.
You do have a doctor. You could ask her.
Yeah.
But regardless, as you guys enter in, you are greeted, more so assailed, by the stench of smoke and drugs, money, the stench of just pure corruption and greed, more so than anything else. And you see that the inside is much more dimly lit. It's much more of a cozy atmosphere here, and there are little shops here and there, just kind of like corner airport style shops filling the hallways, and there are a few Xenos here and there, mostly humans, that all look like they're in a state of disreputable, down on your luckness. And the passage turns left or right. When last you came here, Karn, you would have gone towards the left, towards one of the bigger casinos that Zav runs. If that's what you want to go ahead and do.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine you guys go on all the way to Zav's establishment. Does anybody stop for any souvenirs or anything?
All the souvenirs. All of them.
So
I make an effort to stop anyone from stopping for souvenirs. We have a job to do.
okay.
Bond will just be keeping Rusty still while we're walking through here.
Yeah, my arms are kind of like wet noodles a little bit as I'm walking. They're just kind of flapping a little bit.
Nice.
It's going so well already.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, Rusty, you feel like your arms are getting more noodly further up. It feels like it's reached your shoulders, but it doesn't seem to be going much farther than that.
It's a progressive paralysis.
Yeah. Alright, so the crew kind of being pulled every which way, you eventually herd the cats over to the place where Zav likes to gamble. Now,
Okay.
I believe we came up with the name of it, but I don't remember exactly what. It's not here in my notes here.
I don't
Wasn't
think
it the Dirty Lefty?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it is called the Dirty Lefty.
the Dirty Lefty. Alright. Yeah, you guys see basically a left hand gripping a towering, almost phallic, you might say, stack of cred sticks. And it's very much like cred sticks kind of falling out or spilling out of this hand, and it blinks into different states of cred sticks falling out of the hand. Kind of alternates between them with a neon glow. And you see that there are several guards. None of them stop you to check you for weapons or anything, but they all look menacing. There's 1 Xenos and 3 humans. They're all pretty well kitted out, from what you can see anyways. They let you in, and inside of this whole place here is an enormous, notably enormous room, filled to the brim with multiple levels and a central kind of like fountain that shoots all the way up like 3 stories high. And these levels are all kind of constructed around it, pillars supporting them. And probably 5 feet, you probably couldn't go 5 feet without touching a slot machine or a dice table or a dabo table or something or other. This place is not only packed with gambling games, but it's also packed with people. Xenos, humans, robots, androids, all kinds seem to be littering this place, and some are in different states of repair than others. You see that there are women dressed in garish metallic silver outfits that seem to emphasize their notable assets. There are men and women who are dressed to the nines, much better than even Audra's outfit, and are cheering on at the roll of the dice.
Yeah, Rusty kind of looks around, kind of nodding his head. He goes to like comb his fingers through his hair, but all his right hand does is kind of wobble at his side, and he says, "Yeah, this is a real fat city. We got to lay a patch though, and get on with the job."
There you have it.
No, I can't even understand him.
I think... Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Gizmo, you know the table that Zav usually goes to. He's usually very much a roulette and craps man, but more so roulette than anything else.
Karn is going to head towards that particular... that particular table with a few cred sticks in hand. Because,
Alright.
money talks.
Do you have any actual cred left?
I do. I still have a cred.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, you head over. You brought some money along with you, and you start throwing down. Do you start throwing down? Because you don't see Zav at this table right now.
No, I think I'll wait for right now. Unless
Okay.
it looks like there's a lot of newbies at the table.
Well, you're not entirely sure, but you could try and give me probably a study, I would say.
Sounds good.
Yeah, like while you're studying the room, I think Rusty kind of leans over and says, "Let me know if you need me to lay down any apple butter while we're here with anybody."
No problem, Fancy Pants. Position controlled.
Position is going to be controlled. Effect is going to be standard.
Okay.
Oh, also, just as a note, Fancy Pants' study roll from earlier also would have earned you guys a gambit, because it was a risky and he got a 6.
Cool.
Nice.
Put that on. I'll do that.
Do you mind if I use a gambit then, guys, since we're sitting at 4?
Yeah, go
Yep.
for it.
Cool. How?
Well,
Ouch.
at least it was controlled. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I think what happens is you're trying to like you're approaching a seat. You guys kind of arrive on the scene here, and there's this one roulette table that's at like the edge of some space here. There's a little bit of like a corner and some restrooms and a bar pretty close to it. And that's one of the reasons why Zav goes here a lot, is because the bar is right there, if restrooms are right over there, the roulette table's right here. But you're approaching, and you're trying to take a look around. You feel like you'd probably get a better look at everyone if you were able to see what was going on. And for that, you would probably need one of these fancy stools that they have. Looks like some sort of anti-grav device that you'd be able to sit on and would lift you as high or low as you need to go, depending on your height, catering to Xenos and humans of all sizes. But as soon as you do spot that, someone else seems to take all of these anti-grav stools and start playing, making it much more difficult for you to really get an idea of who's new at the table, what's going on, who's throwing dice, and who's prepared to lose millions to a tiny little half-phased in man.
I thought we were at a roulette table.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, to throw the ball. My bad. Throw dice was more of a euphemism more than anything. Yeah.
Same basic concept.
Yeah, it's more of a euphemism than anything. I apologize. Anyways. But yeah,
you mentioned craps earlier, and I was like, oh, I'll choose the roulette table.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the roulette table. But the problem is you're not really getting a good idea of what's going on. You could try again at a risky roll this time, trying to push people out of the way and try to get a spot on one of these seats, but who knows what might occur from that.
Khan, where's your contact?
Well, normally he's here.
Well,
This is his favorite table. And I'm not seeing him, so we might have to look around a bit. He might.
does he have a second favorite table?
Yeah. Yes. That would be Craps, followed very closely by
Probably by the bar.
yeah, by the bar. He'll play cards if he has to. He's not very good at it though. Like not at all.
Well, might as well look. And as Bond looks around, he will also just kind of squat down to try and get Karn's level, even though he's like twice as tall. And we'll just say to Karn, don't worry. Just keep track of who wins. That's all you need. And he gets up, and we'll start looking for the guy.
Okay. Karn, did you give any sort of image of this guy, or like what's going on, what he looks like,
yeah,
that sort of thing?
He's a human. He has a robotic forearm on his left arm. His right eye is cybernetic, and his right leg is also cybernetic. He was in a terrible accident. He used to professionally race, essentially like speeders.
Did he do pod racing or swoop racing?
Probably pod racing more than swoop racing.
The more dangerous of the two.
Yeah.
All right.
Now he's just stuck here playing Bazak.
No, he avoids Pazak because that's how I got his arm.
Well, if you got a prosthetic arm, then I'm curious if that's how he actually got his prosthetic or if that's how he lost his arm. Perhaps we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, there are Pazak games here too. But yeah, you imagine he's probably not too keen on playing in those, at least probably not yet. However, Karn, as you kind of look around, you do see Zav at the bar. Looks like he is... You see him in one of his usual outfits, a dirty brown flight jacket with some shorts to show off his chrome, and seems to have his arms huddled over his head and his head on the counter of the bar. And he is sipping on a big bottle of, we'll say Kanar for now.
So, I walk up right next to him and in a relatively loud voice. I'll take one fuzzy navel, and for this one, and he points at Zav, whatever the girliest drink you have is.
At the mention of a fuzzy navel, Rusty, you actually know what that is. You were programmed with not only social graces, but also the ability to bartend. And you remember what exactly a fuzzy navel consists of. I'll leave it to you, the player, to look that up, because I have no fucking idea. But you see Zav kind of turn his head a little bit, and he looks over at you, Gizmo, and he says, why you of all people right now?
Well, it's good to see you still have my arm. He laughs a bit.
Yeah, I'm
you
keeping
look
it warm for you.
Look a little down in the dumps. Hit a patch.
Yeah, you could say that. There's a guy.
Oh, there's a lot of guys here if you look around.
I like that.
I've got two with me.
I like that. The bartender serves up the fuzzy navel and gives Zav some form of martini with rainbow colors. And the colors all kind of swish around, and as Riot would say, swirl in the glass. And he looks at it, and he then looks at you, and he says, I like that. There's this guy.
Do I need to go kneecap a bitch? I will kneecap a bitch for you. Perfect height.
I can help.
You're just suddenly there, right?
Yep.
Ryan.
As soon as it gets to violence, I am 100% there.
Yep.
I heard mention of kneecapping a bitch. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he says, there's this guy, Rodin, a Xeno, looks like a big fucking womp rat. Walks on two legs. He's got my pistol, man. That UV one. The one I always used to tote around back in my racing days.
I remember. He had me work on it a few times. Now, tell me, did you bet it? Or did he take it? Because how I go about this depends on that one. You're a dumbass, you know. Alright. What table's he at?
I don't think he's still here. I think he went to go make his millions or something. If you head out, turn right, and then turn right again. If you look to the left, his store's there. It's a used parts shop. I think he had his eye on my cyberware here. Alright, let's get the text chatter for a little bit. You guys are still playing. Yeah, he gives you like directions and says that the shop is like it's like a used parts shop for like cybernetics and weapons, that sort of thing. It sounds like whatever this guy can scrounge together, he'll sell for $1.
Alright. Give me a second, I'll go talk to him. I'll see if I can trade him something. You owe me for this. Actually, I know how you can pay me back.
He looks at you and he smiles and he kind of reaches down and pats and kind of tussles up where your head would be. But instead, obviously, it's just your suit, and he says, "You know, you've always been a good kid, Gizmo. I've always been proud of you. You're a good one."
You know, don't let the size fool you. I'm pretty sure I'm older than you, asshole.
Always a funny one, this one. He looks at you, Bon, and he just says, just pointing repeatedly at Gizmo, "It's a real funny one, this one. He's a real funny guy."
And you're a real drunk. Hey, bartender. Water for him from now. I don't want to make any more mistakes while I'm busy. Alright, and you, and he points to Zev, stop making stupid bets. One of these days, somebody's gonna actually take the arm.
Why are you here, anyways, if you ain't gambling?
I'll be gambling shortly, soon enough. I'm looking for someone, though. And like I said, I'll do this for you. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, type thing. So, we're looking for... he's a brat from the Janus Syndicate.
Brat from the Janus. I think I know who you're looking for. Yeah, I'm gonna need water to remember this shit. And the bartender points to the very flamboyant martini that he just served, and Zav's like, "No, leave that one. That's fine. That's too sweet to get me drunk, anyways." All right. Tell you what. You do this for me, I can find him. You ever been to the hotel here?
Once, twice.
It's a nice place. And he looks at Bond, and he's like, as he kind of stands up, getting off of his anti-grav stool, he says, "Whoa, you're a big one, ain't you?
I've been told."
You here to fight?"
I heard kneecap ripping off. Are we doing that?
I mean, both of mine have been torn off, as you can see. And he points and slaps down on his chroma knees.
Meant dear friend. Is that it, or are you just
I've
yelling
been
at
muted.
him? No, whoops. Wait.
You were not muted.
Oh, for that one, yeah, I know I wasn't muted. I kept muting while she was ordering pizza.
Oh, okay. Congrats. Huzzah.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh, yeah. I just say, hey, if this goes bad, which 50-50, you might get to see a show.
He looks at you sternly for a moment. You can see through the haze that he's got a bit of a sharp edge to him. And he looks back to you, Gizmo, and he says, "Your friend here's a real live wire. I'd keep an eye on him."
Always do. Always do.
Alright, you get that done, I'll be here. And he kind of like falls back into his seat.
Alright. He turns to Bond, taps him on the shoulder, and starts heading back towards the front of the casino, looking for Audra and Rusty.
Yeah, you guys, what have you guys been up to while this has been happening?
Audra's just been waiting close by.
Rusty's probably been walking around a little, well, not walking too far, but, you know, kind of checking out the local landscape and seeing what he can see, experiencing as much as he can.
Need to get you a leash.
A bell would probably be more useful.
I was picturing one of those, like, you know, the leashes that they put on kids. Do they still do that with kids?
Yeah,
The
they
little
do,
backpack
unfortunately.
leashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like when Gizmo's walking back, Rusty falls in line alongside of him, and he says, "You know, word from the bird, the wazoo on that one." And kind of nods to like maybe a dancer or something. Gives a little whistle.
I don't get involved with them. Take everything you have and more.
Yeah, she like turns and she like lifts a leg way high into the air and then points it to you and then leans over and blows a kiss at you. And you see that she's got like silver teeth and a silver tongue. She looks human on the outside.
Interesting.
Alright. Anyway.
What's the plan?
The
Yeah, what's
plan
buzzing,
right
cousin?
God, I love when he talks. It's just great. Alright. Anyway. The plan right now is my contact is a dumbass. And he lost himself a UV pistol that I modded out for him. And we have to go get it back. And
I'm
he...
shocked. I'm shocked that your contact is a dumbass.
You know, I feel like that reflects poorly on me. And I want you to know
Yeah.
right now. I find that comment hurtful. Anyway.
I give him a piece of candy.
Do you take the candy?
I look her dead in the eye and say, I haven't eaten in the last 30 years.
Maybe that's got something to do with your demeanor.
My demeanor's fantastic. Can we continue?
Please.
There's a used parts shop around the bend that our current new fantastic target, Rodin, a walking rodent, is the purveyor I think he is. Anyway, he owns it. It's his. We need to go talk to him and either get him to give us the gun or take the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, we earn our information as to the whereabouts of our friendly neighborhood idiot that needs to be found.
Then we do it fast because we're not the only ones looking for him.
Exactly.
I can be very persuasive. Other than that, I can be very persuasive. Let's go.
That is what I was hoping for. Let's go.
Yeah, we should be able to do this in a jiffy.
Yep. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
I understood the first one, actually, more than the second one.
All right. And with the revelation that Rusty is becoming more comprehensible than Gizmo, you guys head off.
The idea being that a jiffy is an actual unit of measurement, whereas a lamb is an abstract concept that probably didn't exist in Bond's mind. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah, you guys start heading off. You follow the directions, passing by a bunch more shops that seem to get much more, shall we say, dingy the further you go on here. Shops that
Man,
are...
this place is grody.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Yeah, and there are now shops selling, like, used sex toys. There are shops selling...
Used?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. We're in that part of town now.
Oh god, that part of town.
Yeah, and you also see, like, used... like sex bodies. You see used weapons and weapon parts, and then eventually you guys get to a little corner of this part of the flotilla where Rodent's shop is, and you see many different scavenging hyenas, as they were, that appear to be the same race as Rodin himself. They seem to be picking through some trash and then kind of book it as soon as you guys appear in the scene.
All right.
I'm still having
what?
a very physical reaction to used sex toys.
Oh god, I actually shuddered at that one, by the way.
Yep. I'm still shuddering.
Ugh.
I mean, they're washed, mostly.
Oh,
doesn't make
Jesus
it better.
Christ. Oh, it's just getting worse.
It doesn't make it better, man.
I mean, there's
I need a
like
shower.
hard light strap-ons. You don't even need to wash those.
Wow.
Oh god.
Anyways,
Oh.
you guys get to Rodent's shop, and the sign is in an incomprehensible language, one that most of you are not familiar with. However, Rusty, this sign says in American English,
America.
America.
it says in American English, the rat trap.
The rat trap. Huh.
You can read that.
Well, yeah, it's plain as day.
Oh, maybe you're good for something then.
Yeah, and there are a couple of different Android models on display. A feminine-looking one, a large combat model with tons of armor, and a couple of cannons mounted onto its shoulder, looking very much like a an Assaultron, or not an Assaultron, what are the other ones? The Sentry bots from Fallout.
Oh yeah.
There are, it looks to be a one-story place, or at least the shop is one story, and two large-looking dirty doors bar your way in, but it looks like it is open.
Karn's going to push open the doors. Aragorn, Return of the King style, is he's just like knock knock.
All right. Yeah, that happens, and you see inside there's a bit of a situation going on. The first Xenos that you spotted, the ones with 8 eyes, 2 of these appear to be standing opposite the described rodent, and appear to be pointing heavy-duty looking armor-piercing energy rifles at him. And they turn to look at you guys.
Oh, you seem to be in the middle of something. We'll just be outside waiting for all this to go down. Yeah.
And all of a
Some people
sudden,
were here.
guy says, "Who the hell is this? Is this backup? You hired bodyguards against us?"
No.
Bond will step forward at this point and say, "We're not here for either of you. Well, just don't make us do anything rash." I say as I say, "Does anybody know where Roden is? We're here on personal business."
Yeah, they look pretty shook up by your arrival, and these look like pretty twitchy dudes. It's probably going to take some convincing from you, or at least from someone.
For them to like back down.
Either to back down, or step aside, or maybe to run in terror.
Yeah, I could try and maybe sway them by like talking a little bit.
Yeah, just fast talk them down. Or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, just By the way, I guess my arms are going to be paralyzed until I recover harm.
Yeah,
Okay.
or at least until Audra gets you fixed up.
Yeah, so my arms are just limp noodles at my side. I'm just like, just cool your jets. We're just here for a conversation that's very needed. And my friend here, and I kind of flap my arm to hit him on the chest, the big lizard folk guy. I'm like, you don't want to make him wait. He gets a little agitated.
All right. So this is going to be a risky position. I'm going to say probably standard effect. I was going to say limited, but I think you probably have... That's the wrong sheet. You probably have an ability to actually talk these guys down. So that's what I'll say about that. However, before you roll...
Okay.
Did you want to spend some stress and get an extra die or increase the effect? Or
Let's see.
did you want to try and take a devil's bargain? Or did you want to try and get some help from a friend?
So right now I've got 3 arrows on sway, which means I'm rolling 3 dice.
Yes, you would roll 3 dice.
Okay.
I'm taking the best of all 3, so
Right,
it's pretty good
right.
still. So you could
Yeah.
just roll flat out and see if this works. But
Well, I figure that Bon is kind of assisting by standing there and being tough and imposing.
Right,
Yeah.
but in a meta sense, he would have to take at least 1 stress in order to help you out.
Okay.
So that is a
Is
choice
this-
you'd have to actively make.
Is that
I
something you
think
want
I
to do?
can
Or?
suffer the 1 stress for this. So I'll help you out with that. Just have the mechanics fit the RP, and yeah, I'll just be there, very imposing, backing up the idea that we're not here to, we're not here to hurt you, but we will. So may want to back down.
Yeah, I imagine they see after my hand flops against his chest that my knuckles are a little bit bloodied just from the impact.
Yeah, I'm going to say, since you're trying to use your hand so much, that is going to affect the die and give you a -1 die, but Bond helping will give you back your 3 dice.
Okay,
Just
so I'm
roll
just at
normal.
0. Okay. Yeah, because at 2 harm I have -1d, so -1 dice.
Yep.
Hey,
5.
5.
Okay, so
Not
partial. All right. Uh... Okay. Okay, I think... Alright, I think what happens is... from where we left off, all of a sudden, these two guys, thinking that you're much more of a threat than the rodent in front of them is, they flip around and 180 their rifles on you. You guys draw, those of you that can draw, of course, your weapons on the spot, and you're kind of in a stare down for a moment, and then one of them
My
says...
shoulder cannon comes out, by the way.
Yeah, I imagined. One of them says, what are you waiting for then? Let's do this.
Well, again, we don't want to do this.
No? Why are you here then?
We... And he points to, Rodin. Just want to talk to him.
Oh yeah? Seems like he owes us something too. What's he owe
Yeah,
you?
well, he owes me something first. He owes me the gun on the side of his hip here.
You look at him, and these guys are pretty big, so you're able to kind of see past their legs. Rodin's pretty short. He's only a little bit taller than you. And you don't see a gun at his hip. In fact, he barely wears any clothes at all. More so probably just using his dirty matted fur to cover up any genitalia or anything else he might want to hide. He's rotund, but it doesn't look like he has any guns on him, and one of the guys says something in a language none of you probably understand. It sounds like... And they look forward and they say, what, this? And guy pats a small UV pistol on his hip that appears to have an attached sight. It says, he is supposed to pay this in return for his debts to us.
Alright, then I guess we are here to talk to you. We need that. It didn't belong to him. It's actually mine.
Rodin says, what are you talking about? I won that from Zav Fair Square.
Yeah, and Zev already owed it to me.
He didn't say that.
Why would he?
This sounds like a deception, so I think it's probably a sway.
Alright, is that Karn or me? Because I don't think either of us are great at it, but...
Yeah, that'd probably be Gizmo as the primary. You can help if you want to take a stress for it.
I could probably, I don't know how I would help.
Yeah, you'd have to describe how you help.
All right. Can I spend a gamut and push myself or take a devil's bargain?
Yeah, you can only do one of either pushing yourself or taking a devil's bargain, but you can combine pushing yourself and taking a gambit. So you would get +2 die on that.
Can I assist by like look at this guy. He takes his guns seriously. He'd know his guns.
Risky position.
Yeah, and that would be if you were going to do all of those things. That would be +3 dice. And then Rusty, of course, would take a stress. And you would lose 1 gambit. But it might provide success for you, so there's that. Yes, I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a desperate situation because these guys look like twitchy mercs, and by the way that they're kind of like looking all around the room with their different eyes and kind of like respacing their feet and stepping around and stuff, you get the opinion that these guys probably aren't interested in doing a whole lot more talking. Not to mention the rifles that they have pointed at you already.
Effect being what, standard?
Effect is going to be great.
Oh, okay.
So let's see how you do. A 4. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. I think what's going to happen here is you guys are all pretty well armed. Like even Needles and even Needles looks like she's ready to fucking duke it out if necessary. And she's got her pistol drawn, I imagine. All right. They kind of like look at the three of you, and there's a small conversation that happens between the two Xenos, and they say, "You look like you're not from around here. Fine. You can have this stupid thing. We're gonna be coming back. And if the pistol's yours, we're coming back for you. You'll hear from our boss." And they put away their rifles, or at least lower them for the time being. One of them says back to Rodin, "You still owe us. Don't you forget about it." And
as they're lowering their rifles, Bond will just kind of look to Karn and like turn his head, like just kind of very inquisitively.
Karn's gonna shrug and gesture to them like, "If you're gonna do it, go ahead."
Bond shrugs as well, and he's going to see if he can get off 2 clean shots.
okay, that sounds like a scrap.
Alright, I'm gonna push myself. If anyone wants to fire some extra shots in, feel free to help.
I will assist by also firing.
Okay, go ahead and take a stress. And
So
then Bond
that's
can
that.
take 2 stress.
Yep, and that's still 2 extra dice.
Are you taking the stress for an extra die or for greater effect?
I already have a fine blaster pistol,
Okay,
so I think that already gives extra effect.
that does.
Which hopefully will get rid of them if this succeeds, but we'll see.
So this is going to be risky with great effect then.
Yes. Okay. Risky with great effect and 2 extra dice.
Okay.
Let's do it. 6.
Ah.
There you go. Yeah, you guys are like in the process of lowering your weapons, and then you look over to Karn. Karn shrugs and looks back at you, and you just kind of like tilt your head a little bit and lift your arm up and pop, pop. And you realize 1 moment too late that these guys had already started a transmission on in an ARM-based datapad, and you said you have a blaster pistol, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the blaster bolts go right through their heads, 2 clean shots just like you wanted, and they drop down to the ground dead, smoking from cauterized wounds through their craniums. And you hear someone speaking that same strange language over a wrist-mounted intercom. And it appears that the hologram projection is pointed towards the floor. And Rodin just kind of looks at you guys in shock.
I will attempt to shoot the wristband just to stop the transmission before it can get any data out of it. And I will turn to Rodin after I do that and say, by the way, you don't know us anything. And if I can do that, I'll just grab the pistol and we'll be out of here.
Okay, so you just like smash it or shoot it? The wrist thing?
As soon as I see it start transmitting, I will just shoot the thing and try and deactivate it before it can get any information out, before anyone can see anything out of it. Just kind of have that go dark, and then, yeah. You don't know us anything. And I grab the pistol we need, and we get out of here. Or at least, upon the suggest, we get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, and as that happens, I'm going to turn to Audra and say, I'll clue you, Dolly, these arms are the royal shaft.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, you guys smashed the wrist-mounted thing, take the pistol, I imagine, and yeah, Rodin just like looks at you guys, looks down at the bodies, looks at you guys, and says, "Would you mind cleaning that up?"
Is there a dumpster near here?
There is. There's one that the other rodents were picking through when you just got there.
All right, yeah. So I'll just pick up the 2, sling both of them over my shoulder, and just toss them in the dumpster, and say, may want to shoot that before long.
What? The trash can?
The being shoot it into space, like get rid of it, basically, or dispose of it. I don't know what the term for that is in this.
You mean space or vent it?
Yeah, vent it. May want to vent that before long.
There you go. He looks at it in disbelief and says, "Well, maybe they'll take it in the afternoon. I doubt you'll last that long." And I'm gonna make a clock.
All right.
And I'll be next to Audra, asking if she's got any needles she can like get my arms back working with.
Yeah, you guys can work that out. That'd be a controlled position with standard effect, because you have your stuff with you.
I'm so reluctant to open my med kit in this part of town.
You don't know what
We could
kind
do
of...
like inside the shop real quick right before we step out.
It's all disgusting here, but I'll do it anyway. So I sort of examine the arms and maybe eventually like come up with a syringe of something I think might work.
Okay.
Did you say the
Synthesize an
effect
antidote.
was standard?
Yeah, the effect is going to be standard. It's controlled position.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go. Why are these italicized now? I'm looking at the clocks on the Fire Drake, and they're all italicized. I don't remember that being a thing, but maybe I'm just blind. But yeah, Coast Chronotgar gang finds you. Is a 6-segment clock, and it has 2 segments filled in. Being on the Maelstrom and crossing these guys will up it, as will spending an inordinate amount of time here, as they will simply find more details about people who have spotted you and that sort of thing. So that's fun.
Well, hopefully we'll be out of here before long. Assuming things go to plan, which never happens, but we can hope. Let's just get to your friend there, Karn, before things get too hectic.
I mean, that went about as well as I was expecting it to.
Can we resolve the partial success on the doctor roll?
Yeah. Let's go
Rusty's
ahead.
dead.
Let's go ahead and do that real quick here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I'm just looking over exactly what's going to happen here for you guys.
Do you mind if I take a short break?
Yeah, we can go ahead and take our break for the evening here and get some refreshments, and then we'll detail what happens with this doctor roll when we get back. We'll be back in probably about 15 minutes, so 9:20 Eastern is when we'll be back, and I hope to see you guys again at that point. Stay tuned. More Scum and Villainy on the way here. we're back with more Scum and Villainy Ambition coming at you live from twitch.tv/ultralazuli. Glad you guys are tuning in and hope you're having a wonderful time. We have a doctor roll to initiate here and to set the consequences for. Now, let me ask you, Audra, do you have the ability patch?
I don't. We know that I've been working towards that. We've said that like every session.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I think in that case, while you guys are kind of like on the move, it's not really much of an option to like jab something in him. Like you don't have you're still a talented doctor, but jabbing something in Rusty in order to heal his arms, especially here and now, probably not the best idea. So we're gonna say that this doctor roll doesn't happen. We're gonna revert, kind of rewind the clock a little bit here. But you would be able to help get his healing clock up without too much trouble during the downtime after this mission is through. In other news, you do now have the pistol that you were looking for. So I assume you're heading back over to Zav?
Yep, get this over with, and then hopefully find the guy we're looking for.
Okay.
Sooner the better, now that we have the ire of some gang on us.
Whoops.
Indeed. Alright, well then, you head back over to the casino. And go back over to Zav's favorite table. He actually is at the table at this point, but doesn't seem to be gambling. He just seems to be watching others throwing down their chips. And he sees you, and he gives a little grin, and he says, "Hey, Gizmo. I'm really glad you can make it back."
I thought I told you to stop drinking.
Yeah, that's the thing you told me. You got my gun?
Bond
I
will
mean, I do.
toss
I don't know
the
if I
man.
should give it to you. And just already got it.
What were you saying,
Can't-
Bond?
I was gonna say Bond will just grab it and toss it at him.
Okay.
Lightly,
it-
underhand, but still.
Oh god. Oh god.
It like impacts him and falls onto the ground, and he's like, "What? You're really gonna make me get on the ground for this?"
No, you could just tell us where he is, and then, well, save it for later.
Where? Who? Who are you talking about?
The brat from the Janus Syndicate.
Oh yeah, him. Right. The guy with that weird white hair and shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he kind of like readjusts himself and gets down on all fours. More like collapses onto all fours as he goes to pick up his gun. And then as he's talking, he's sort of like clambering his way back onto his stool. The stool's kind of like flipping out a little bit and rotating every which way. And he's having a bit of trouble doing it, but he says, "God, Yeah, I saw him. What was it? Hey, Jupiter. When was the last time you gave me a blowjob? She says, oh, fuck you, it's just 2 days ago.
Oh my god.
Right, 2 days ago.
Oh,
Saw this kid. I'd hit it real big, and me and Jupiter have a time. And, he, like, gives a kind of, like, cracking wink. He kind of cracks a wink at Jupiter, and he said, he was headed out and lost a bunch of money. Cute kid. Just got a big fucking head on his shoulders. I think he said he was going after... who was it? You know... this martini that guy gave me packed more of a punch. You give me one of those, maybe my memory will come back to me.
I swear the fuck, I'm going to kill you.
Not before you give me that martini, you're not. He gives you a big shit-eating grin.
Karn bends down, grabs the gun, and holsters it. And he says, you know, I'm sure somebody else knows, and I've always really loved the gun, so I just might keep it myself.
Oh, no, that just ain't right.
Oh, really? I had to kill a man for this thing. I think I've earned it. Or you can tell me where the fuck you saw the brat from the Janus Syndicate.
Wait. Did you kill Rodin?
Of course not.
Who the fuck did you kill?
2 idiots were shaking him down, and decided that they wanted to pick a fight with us.
They lost.
He looks from Gizmo to Bond, and then he just kind of like... Oh, you two are rich.
No, not really. That's why we're here, looking for this fucking kid. He's our job. Now you're gonna help with this, or you're not getting the gun back.
Alright. Look, I don't know if he's still alive. What I do know is I saw him as I was leaving. I was going up to the hotel. Had some fun. And I saw him. He's just chilling out with a bunch of the trash, so... The trashman didn't pick him up. Those guys you killed for that gun, probably the ones that did it. Unless they have him. I imagine if he's some syndicate boy, he's probably worth a pretty penny. Small timers like them, they'd probably make a good fortune out of that. But I guess that's why you're here. Now, give me my gun.
Karn will set it on the table and slide it to him.
He takes it and he like, instead of holding it like a gun, he holds it like a teddy bear and crosses his arms over it. He says, "Oh, Bertha, I missed you. It's nice to have you where you belong. You beautiful bitch. Pleasure doing business with you as always, Gizmo."
Same to you. Keep the arm warm. Might want it someday.
You have to blame me for it.
Oh, I already did, remember?
Oh yeah, you did.
Alright. Again, he looks at the barkeep. Seriously, no more. We're gonna kill the man.
He just throws his hands up at you.
Yeah. Talk to you later, Zav.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Alright, I take it you guys leave the casino?
Yeah. As we're leaving, I will mention to Karn, you wouldn't happen to be able to repair and trace back a slightly battle-damaged transmitter, would you? Just in case it ends up being that way.
Oh, I can.
Good. We have that as a backup.
Okay. So you're heading back over to Rodin's shop, or just
I
outside
think
of
we're heading
Rodin's
to the
shop?
hotel first, but I just wanted to throw that idea out there in case we couldn't find him there.
So why don't we come up with a definitive plan, and then we can follow through on what's going on. So are you guys heading to the hotel near this casino, or are you heading over to Rodin's first?
The only problem is if the trash comes and picks it up, you won't be able to get that wrist thing.
Yeah. Do we want to bank on him being at the hotel? Because time is of the essence, even more so now. So it might be best to head to the hotel first and see if we can catch him before anyone else gets to him, because they are here. They are collecting debts at current, so it's likely... Well, we may have just gotten rid of the team that was going to extract him. It's also likely that they might send a few more personnel. Also, they did mention that he would be worth a lot, so I don't think they're going to kill him right off. So it might be worth stealing him from them if finding them is easier. But at the same time, it would be simpler to just kill them. Sorry, to get him before they do. So that is the train of thought that I'm currently working with. Anyone want any addition to that? Anything you want to bring up? Anything going on in any of your heads?
No, that sounds about right.
All right, then it's just making a decision now. So, do we think it would be better to see if we can nab him first, or do we want to see if we can sneak him out from the let's get the actual name up. Sneak him out from the Chronals.
Well, let's check if he's there.
All right, hotel first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are trying to go to... Where are you trying to go in the hotel?
I think what we're gonna want to do is, Rusty and Audra, how are you guys for distracting the front desk while Kron sees if he can sneak into the records, see if the guy has a room somewhere, and then we can keep up radio while you guys keep up the distraction. I'll see if I can go grab him. Thoughts?
Rusty throws his shoulder forward and his hand flops lightly against your chest as if he was trying to put his hand onto your shoulder or something, and says, I can do my best to distract them with my talking.
I mean, if worst comes to worst, you could just dance. They might laugh a bit.
Just need an opening for this guy to get into the mainframe.
You know, computers haven't run on mainframes in centuries.
Database, whatever.
So let me get this straight. The plan is to find a database of where people are holed up in the hotel, while Rusty and Needles provide a distraction.
More or less. I'm thinking, like, they should have those records just at the front desk. We just need to get Kron back there and not have him noticed while he figures out what room this guy is staying at which point we head up there, nab him, take him out. By that, I mean literally take him from the premises. And that should be a job done, assuming we don't run into any interference, which is highly unlikely, but...
Okay.
Yeah. The main part of the plan: distract the front desk, get into the database, find out what room he's in, go there and get him. And any complications along the way will be, well, complications, I suppose.
Okay. Okay. So, the only issue I see with that is that you don't necessarily know where the mainframe database is, where the servers are. So that might be a thing you might want to find out. But other than that,
Wouldn't
the
there
question-
just be like an interface to the front desk, or is that not how it does work in the future?
Well, I was going to ask, how does it work here? Is stuff, are there basically Wi-Fi signals to connect to, or do you have to actually, like, directly plug in?
Well, even if there are Wi-Fi signals, directly plugging in is always the better idea.
well,
I
there
would
are.
assume-
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just gonna say, I would assume then there's probably the storage is somewhere on the premises. In fact, I would imagine there are probably devices that keep info like that, who's in what room, on them, just kind of around the place, and maybe the staff room. Like, I'd imagine they would be able to keep tabs on that. Who set their thing to do not disturb, what's open, what's closed, occupied, who is out currently for the cleaning people, that sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, you'd probably, if you were able to get to a mainframe or something, yeah, I would say that you'd have a good chance, as long as you were able to get a good hack roll, I would say that you'd be able to get a good chance at finding out exactly where at least this gang resides, if not where Krantz resided in the hotel. Now, if you were to do that, the only problem I'm seeing is where's the mainframe? And that's the job that you would have to figure out.
Well, if we're going by parallels to how it done in the modern day real world, any of the computers would work as long as I could get the information for the admin.
And they were connected to like an admin account, or at least the main mainframe.
Yeah, well, most of them would have to be if they were any sort of connected to the running of the operation, like...
That's true. That's a good point.
at the
Yeah, 'cause
front
then you
desk,
have to
you can
make it-
mark off a room is occupied, then that should be connected well enough, at least.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you might have to make a new key card or whatever for somebody so you'd have their information accessible.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the plan. So, the hotel is easy enough to find. There are plenty of advertisements for it. There's really hot, well-endowed sex bots, you imagine, handing out little pieces of glass or plastic, probably plastic, that have like little holograms of the hotel's advertisements on them.
I just had an idea. I could grab the spy gear, and since he's human and I'm a human, I could use the spy gear to disguise myself to be him and come and ask for a replacement keycard.
You could certainly try.
I like it.
Sounds like a plan. And I'll be the backup. Or we can do a two-pronged assault, and that way, if you fail and I don't, or they're working on it and they don't have any more suspicions. Know what I mean?
I dig it.
Okay. Okay, so are you gonna head back? Well, no, you would have the gear on you. I'm sorry. You wouldn't need to go back to the ship for any of that. But are you gonna like find a shop or something to change in?
Yeah, that or a bathroom, I would guess.
Okay. I mean, the bathrooms here, the ones that aren't like totally stuffed with trash until you can't get in, are still pretty fucking dingy and busted up. Um, many of the uh, many of the gendered bathrooms are just completely destroyed. The non-gendered ones are less destroyed, but still pretty dingy. But you find one, and you put on what was that called?
It's called spy gear. It says it has disguises, voice modulators, mini cameras, thermal scanners, false thumbprints, and audio filters. So I figure it has equipment to disguise, you know, because we've got an image of this guy.
You
since
do.
We're hunting him down, so can disguise myself to look like him, and I can say that I dropped it because my arms aren't working, so I couldn't keep a hold of my key card.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, you do your best Kranzbach's impression, and seems like it's pretty legit. Guy talks with kind of like a semi-edgy 90s voice. And you guys head over to the hotel. So what do you do?
So I'm going to distract them with trying to get the key card to his room while Karn, I guess Karn and Bon are together, or Karn's going by himself.
Karn's got he can operate by himself, although what I would recommend is if you want to all just grab communicators as a thing so that we can keep connected even if we're on different parts of the hotel.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Welcome to the hotel, dirty lefty.
Needles, what are you doing?
Nothing.
You're just standing in the middle of the hallway on
Ne-
the flotilla?
Needles might be helping me because I don't have arms. Or I do, but I can't use them very effectively. They're sluggish and slow to respond.
Is that what you're doing, Needles?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you go in. What do you say to the front counter person?
Yeah, I'm just like, I've had a horrible day. My arms are numb, and I couldn't keep a hold. I need access to my room again. I've lost it. Basically, giving the name and stuff, and
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me either a command or a sway? I think either would probably work here.
yeah, I'll use sway for sure.
Okay.
Position.
Position is going to be risky with standard effect.
Effect. Okay, and I'm guessing the -1 dice applies here from the harm, or is there situations where it doesn't apply?
Yeah, that does apply.
Okay.
Because it's based.
So,
It's generally based upon what you're using.
Right.
Like what basic stat you were using to do this, but.
so I'll push myself.
Okay.
So I'll take 2 stress to cancel that out, basically.
So you're just taking the another die.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can probably save, since I'm at -1 die. I don't think I want to spend a gambit. I'll let that for somebody else to use.
I think you have like 1 or 2 left.
Right. Yeah. I think I'll save that for Gizmo in case this doesn't work.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you guys have 2 left right now.
So I'll be rolling 3 dice.
Yep.
All right.
5. Okay. Okay. I think they're gonna need something from you. Let me think here. I think what they say is that because of hotel policy, they're going to need to lead you up to your room themselves, and they'll be able to unlock the door for you, but they won't be able to get you another key card unless their maintenance man finishes his jobs early.
Okay. So does just Needles want to come up with me?
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Do we want Bond to like maybe be able to rush in case we encounter something inside?
I mean, I was basically thinking he would just walk inside, pretend as though he has a room, and just meet you guys in the elevator or something.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we go up to the room.
Alright. So that's happening. Place is pretty big. There's many floors and it's a large area. So the elevator ride's going to take a little bit, even at the speeds that it goes these days. Bond and Karn, what are you two doing?
I was going to head into the back area and find a terminal, any terminal that looks like it's staff only, and use some of my gear to work my way in.
Okay, that sounds like you might need to roll a skulk or prowl. I think it's skulk in this game. Look. Yeah, skulk. Skulk about unseen, pickpockets, employ subtle misdirection, or sleight of hand.
Ugh.
Because you guesstimate that otherwise someone's probably going to see you. Otherwise, you could try and command some of the guards to leave the area or to open up the door for you if you're successful enough. You could try.
I would like to walk straight towards the back and be like, hey, maintenance, I need to get through here.
Okay.
Come on, move.
That sounds like a command. So why don't you go ahead and roll a command. We'll say that this is risky with standard effect. Oh, by the way, the scrap that Bond rolled to kill those guys would have gotten you guys a gambit.
Oh, he rolled a crit?
No, he didn't roll a crit. He got a 6 on a risky.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then do you mind if I use that gambit, guys?
Go ahead. Still uses it too, so we're good.
Yeah.
This mission is going a lot more smoothly than the last one did.
Considering the last one ended with me blowing up a ship, yes.
I mean, we have a data point of 1. Who knows? That might just be, might have been unlucky, but, you know.
So are you going to push yourself or try to take a devil's bargain or anything?
I already rolled.
Oh, okay. So a 5. Okay. I think they look ready to get out of your way and let you into the area. But they don't seem interested in helping you open any of the doors. And unless you have some sort of hacking prowess, which obviously,
Oh yeah.
then you're probably not going to be able to get past the security locks on these doors, as they, of course, want to protect their valuable data.
Well, I'm gonna hack them definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make it look like I know what I'm doing as I enter the key code stuff.
Due to time passing, I'm going to put another tick on the gang finding you.
Oh god.
You have 3 ticks left.
Lovely.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds exactly like a hack. And you have your fine hacking rig, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that increases the quality. Why don't you go ahead and hack that? That's going to be a risky with great effect.
Cool. And I think I will push myself.
Okay. So 2 stress for 1 die. Or for greater effect, you can still go higher than great.
Nope, I will take the die.
Okay. Woo! That's another crit. Awesome. Cool. You know what?
So, Gambit.
Yeah, that is 1 gambit. Because it was a risky and we got a 6 on it. That's also a crit. That's really, really good. So, ooh. Okay. Actually, did you spend a gambit on that scrap?
No. I assisted him.
Oh, okay. Alright. Cool. Anyways. So, you do it with increased effect and add a gambit if you haven't spent one on this roll. Cool. Very cool, cool, cool. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, all these guys get out of your way, and as soon as the last one, like, leaves your sight, you just pop it out, attach a couple little doohickeys and wires to this this panel here, and kind of pry off a different part of the panel, attach a couple more wires. You put a little square rectangle thing on part of it, and you pull up a how do you access it? Is it like a cyber deck? Is it arm mounted? Is it something that pops up from your belly? Is it just in your monitor, like your helmet?
Once I access it, it's a HUD.
Okay. How do you access it? Just like through your eyes with mental commands, or what?
So it's like the device itself is kind of like a spike from Star Wars, where it forces itself into the computer system via contact, and then it interfaces with it. It's set to interface with my suit that way, and it's through mental commands.
Okay. Alright, yeah. We see all of these HUD elements kind of pop up. I'm going to say, because it was already great, that would put it at extreme effect. Meaning that...
I'm in.
Meaning that not only do you hack this door open, which is fucking child's play to you, you also there's a hard line connection into the whole hotel. All the doors are connected to the same system, and you have extremely easy access to them. And in fact, you also have access to the main terminals and mainframes, so you can just find the information from here. You don't even need to make another roll for anything.
From the door.
Yeah. Apparently they were just really dumb and put it all together in one system. How stupid is that shit?
Oh, that's exactly what Karn's thinking as he does this. Goes over the communicator. Alright, I know exactly where he is.
Yeah, so as you pull up the information, you have some security cam footage of right outside his room. Several dudes who are... some of them are the same species as the guys that you killed earlier in Rodin's shop. A couple of them are human, however. And they knock on Krantz's door. And then Krantz opens the door and it slides up with a whoosh, and all of a sudden you see a weapon. You're not entirely sure what kind of weapon this is. You might not have ever seen it before, but if you show it to Bon knows that this is a stun net. It fires a series of interlinked projectiles that are connected through electron pulses.
They're tagging them for us.
And they went and grabbed him, took him out of the hotel room, and threw him into a bag. And from that bag, they took him down the hall, down to the basement, and they exited through the basement and into the quote-unquote sewers of this place, kind of like the refuse and waste disposal systems. And from
Is this
there,
happening in real time, or?
No, this happened like a day or two ago. Specifically 2 days and 5 hours ago.
Hopefully. So Karn's gonna go over the communicators. Hey, whatever you're doing, don't do it. Come on back. We're gonna have to find this asshole the hard way. I have footage. Y'all might want to see.
You do get a couple of leads, however. What you do note is that you kind of run an algorithm on a lot of the security cam footage and information that you received, as well as communications that have been received by the hotel, as well as sent out from the hotel. What you know is that the Kranokgar gang hideout isn't too far from here, if what you're reading is correct. But you do note that there doesn't appear to be an easy way to get in there.
Think we could just knock on the front door.
Maybe. If someone who has wiggly arms and a lot of sway is able to help you.
A lot of swag.
Now,
That
by the
too.
time that he communicates this to us, have we gotten to the room yet, or where are we at?
Honestly, by this time, you've probably just like dinged up to the floor that you're supposed to be at, and then the communication happens.
Okay, I think we might still go and see if there's anything useful in the room real quick, and then head down.
Okay. Yeah, she still shows you to your room and opens it for you. She does not give you a key card, but she does let you and Needles in, and kind of smiles and says, well, I'm sure you two will find the accommodations comfortable. we haven't had a chance to get in here to clean in a little while, so I do apologize about that. But if you would let us in to clean more often, Mr. Bax, we'd be more interested in taking care of the room.
Thanks, doll. You're a boss.
Right. Have a pleasant evening. And she just leaves. The room itself is dark. There's there's like clothes and used up drug paraphernalia all over the place. There are there's like a lamp, kind of like a hard light lamp that's just like on the floor, doing its best not to burn into the floor. There's a big coat with a bunch of patches on it, hung up on the wall, whereas every other article of clothing or the sheets are kind of like all over. Why don't you go ahead and give me a study if you want to try and check things out here.
How's your study, Needles?
I have 2 in study.
Yeah, I only got 1.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can roll study if you'd like.
What's the position?
Position is going to be controlled. Effect is going to be standard.
Okay. Wow.
Snake eyes.
That is really bad for you.
That is a critical fail. We're all gonna die.
Well, there aren't typically critical fails in Blades in the Dark, but there are in my game. Because I think it's a little bit more dramatic, especially after the critical success that just happened. For extreme effect, no less. Okay. There's something I want to do, but I don't think that would be very fun. So I'm not going to do that. I think, first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark another tick on the Chronogar gang finding you clock up to 4.
Oh, God.
The second thing I'm going to do here is you guys end up taking a really long time trying to find nothing.
Cool.
You guys probably spend another 2 to 4 hours here just looking at shit, and you're always like, the others are willing to go, but you always think you're about to find something because this room is just littered with shit. If you ever needed DNA of this guy, it's all over the place. There's red haze packets and inhalers. There's another couple of drugs, blue wisp and orange fire.
Is there wet water?
No, that's blue wisp, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna punch you.
Come and find me. Let's do this. I'll fight you in the streets.
Yo, I'm big.
So am I.
Anyways, Yeah.
I guess you just
kind
meet
of
up after that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of extra time, and you kind of lose your opportunity because after a while, the others just like Gizmo and Riot, and probably Rusty at some point just get fed up, and they're like, "Come on, we don't have time for this. We got to go," and you just miss out entirely. So.
I'm surprised you didn't make me take a headache from
Nah,
trying so hard to study.
nah, not quite. It was only a standard effect. If it were a greater effect, there might have been worse repercussions. If you were in a worse position, it'd be way worse. But it was controlled. Okay. So that happens. You guys eventually meet up with Gizmo, kind of in like the front lobby. Gizmo, you've kind of wrapped everything up and placed the plate that you took off back on where it should be.
By the way, before I do that,
Sure.
I make all of the display screens hardcore porn.
Oh man. Is it sex bot porn? Is it Xenos porn, or is it just human stuff?
All of the above.
Wow, so just like a veritable orgy of different kinds of orifices and dongers. Excellent.
Yeah.
And you're
And Karn's dying laughing as he walks away.
yeah.
Oh
They
god,
are
this will take him. Oh man, a door. I got that through a door. Oh. Whew. He would wipe a tear if he could as he meets up with Bon. Bon, you'll never believe how dumb these people are.
Bon, your sight and hearing are surrounded by the sounds of sex.
I'm prepared to hear many things.
There's even as you guys, Rusty and Audra, as you both get into the elevator to go back down, the keypad on the elevator is still functional, but is quickly replaced by scenes of a couple of Xenos with very strange genitalia going at it, and one of the genitalia is on the button that you need to press.
Oh my god, this is better than I expected.
But you guys get back together and meet back in the lobby. They're having trouble getting everything under control. What do you guys do?
Karn is laughing and he's like, we gotta go, we gotta go. Oh my god, we gotta go.
I'll just follow Karn.
Okay.
So as soon as we're out, he stops and he's like, alright, so it's probably not going to be as easy next time we have to break into this place, but everything is on the same server. Everything. They don't even have a separate one for the doors. I got to the mainframe through a door. And then I did that. Worth it. Did you guys
Well,
find anything out?
No, we didn't find anything in the room.
Well, he's definitely already been picked up by our friendly neighborhood gang lords.
Well, do you think they're the same as the ones we saw a few hours ago?
It looked like it. Just the
Then let's
same.
hope he wasn't good at following advice. Maybe we can still find the communicators, and maybe you can trace it back to their ship.
Hey, let's go.
Alright, so you're heading back towards Rodin's shop?
Yep. And I will mention on the way, on the plus side, if they find us, well, different route, the same location.
Okay. Alright, yeah, you guys head over towards Rodin's shop, and the bodies are still there.
Right.
Their feet are like the only thing popping out of a nearby dumpster, effectively.
I will just go up to the dumpster, look into it, and see if I can pick out the one that had the armband, like the communicator. Just kind of lift the arm out of the thing, and just kind of have it flop down out of the dumpster, and just try and work on it.
I'm just gonna take the arm.
All right. Well, if I see you doing that, then yeah, I'll just pop it off the shoulder.
Yeah. I don't want to have
Okay.
to deal with the body. I'm gonna pull off the communicator if I can. If it's okay. I'm going to attempt to pull off the device first, and if it won't come, then I'll take the arm.
The device appears to be attached to a piece of armor, which is difficult to remove, but not impossible. You eventually get it off
All right.
without having to have Bond rip off a biological part of somebody.
I don't know why, but I just imagined it was integrated in the arm, so I was like, oh yeah, just take the arm.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things in this galaxy. But yeah, you have that, what's left of it anyways. Bond did a fairly thorough job of wrecking the fuck out of it. Even though I probably should have had him roll a wreck. Either way. Yeah, you could try and rig it back together, but I'm going to say that while your position is going to be risky, your effect is only going to be limited. You could try and push yourself to get a better effect if you wanted to.
I think that I will not. I can't afford that right now.
Okay.
So we'll go back. Risky limited. And I will just go. Go me. I'm doing good tonight.
You are doing good. Okay. That's a hack, my friend. I was saying rig.
Oh, my bad. They both have the same score though.
Okay. All right. In that case, you do succeed. Actually, look at something real quick. Okay. All right. There was one desperate roll. Karn, make sure you mark the XP for the desperate sway roll you made.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, we don't want to forget those, because you do get experience for desperate rolls.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you piece this thing together. At second glance and kind of looking over it, it's not quite as broken as one might think. Looks like it is... it looks like it's still trying to accept a transmission. You piece it together with your rig and get everything kind of connected. There's a little blinking light that starts popping up and blinking, softly fading, then blinking again, softly fading, indicating that there's not only a currently incoming message, but also a previous message that was lodged, sort of like a VMS.
My brain just shut off. What did you just say?
Good job. So you put it together. It's not quite as bad. There's a little green light as you piece it together, that blinks on and softly fades, blinks on and softly fades, indicating that there is currently an incoming message as well as a yellow light that does the same thing, indicating that there is a recorded message, sort of like a VMS.
Karn will activate that, see what's going on there. The recorded message, not the incoming one. We're not gonna deal with that incoming one yet.
Okay. Yeah, you open up the recorded message, and it appears, most of it appears to be in the same language. Someone saying something in short bursts, yelling, and then after a while, there's another message that you play, and this one seems to be in Galactic Basic, and it says, "To anyone who's reading this, if you've done something to my boys, don't worry, we're already after you. If not, return this boy to this location, and he'll have ample time to explain himself, as will you. Have a good day." And there's some coordinates attached to that message. The guy in the message itself is kind of a bit shrouded, but you get the impression that he is one of these antlion type guys that Rusty was fucking with at the beginning of all this.
Lovely.
He's got he's very large and bulbous. He's got a very large outfit on, some kind of space suit, like a suit in space.
Space suit.
Let's see. So all it says is an incoming message. So
Yeah, as you finish going through the recorded messages, the incoming message stops.
Can you see where that was coming from?
You can. You can get sort of like, it would help if you were able to triangulate. You're able to get kind of a general direction of where it came from. But aside from that, not really.
Is it in the direction of the coordinates from the first message?
They appear to be.
Seems like they're waiting, which means either they are expecting their guy to be alive and we could go there and ambush the smaller group, or there's a smaller group separate from the larger gang, which means it'll be easier to try and hit their HQ if we can find it, and see if we can find where they're holding our target. In fact, I wonder if we could ask around and see if we could find an auction for him, or like wherever they're trying to sell him. Maybe we could just...
I don't think they'd be trying to sell him. I think they'd be trying to ransom him.
Yeah, fair enough. I wonder if, for a point, I guess they might have been trying to ransom him to Victor, hence why he sent us here. It would be weird, though, they didn't give us a location of where he was. I don't know. Anyways. I think best course of action is probably to go to this place, bring the locator and the communicator, that is, and see if we can just kind of fool their radar into thinking he's coming, At which point, we'll have some unbusted machinery to work with, which hopefully you can dig into history. Like, can you tell if these things record audio automatically? Is that how they're getting word out? Can you tell if, like, do they have like a PDA on them that tells them like orders? Or is it just a cell phone? Yeah, I know. I'm asking Karn if he can, like, if what does this thing do if we can actually get any of that information from, if not this one, then maybe a non-busted one.
I hate how vague you can be sometimes.
What am I being vague about?
Well, you're saying, like, what you're basically trying to ask is what else we can get out of this communicator. That much I understand.
Yeah.
What you can get is, this is basically just a holographic communicator. I mean, it acts like, it has basically the same functions as a lame cell phone. Like, it has basically the same functions as, like, you know, calculations, communications, programming something if necessary. Nothing like games or erroneous apps. As for like finding a location on something, I'm not entirely sure what kind of location you're looking for aside from their hideout, and you already have that information.
Thought we just had a meeting point, not a hideout.
No, you have a hideout. I mean, your buddy Karn got really lucky on that door, and he was given the information as to exactly where those guys were, described in several different kinds of emails that he pulled up through an algorithm. The only problem that he knows about is that there doesn't appear to be a back entrance anywhere. There's just a front entrance.
I mean, that's not really a problem. I have a detonator.
I mean, if it's not a problem, go for it.
Yeah, let's storm the gates.
Woo!
I see no issues with this plan. Assuming you can get into the security cameras, we can find where he's being kept, make our own entrance, get in, get out, and then all we have is the ensuing chase scene, which now we have a pilot for, so that shouldn't be too hard either.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm only slightly sluggish with my arms.
That's fair. Well, I can help. I am kind of a... I think actually you have less effect, but I have one less die. So, I don't know how that works.
I don't have
Anyways.
less effect. I have -1 die, yeah.
Yeah, let's just go. Can you get the cameras inside the hideout? If there are even cameras inside the hideout? Or no, you have spy gear, don't you? We can find a heat signature. At least try to.
Yeah, I've got spy gear, so
Yeah,
we can
let's
use the thermographics.
do
Thermal
thermographics.
scanners.
We have a drone that we can attach that stuff to, try and figure that out. Yeah, we just need to scout the place out.
Yarp.
And mini cameras, too.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So it sounds like you guys are looking to take a bit more of a stealthy approach. Is that what's happening, or are you just like running in, guns blazing?
The idea is to be stealthy in scouting the place out. Use the spy gear and the drones and hacking to see if we can figure out where exactly Krantz is being held. Break in the closest place we can, run in through maybe one hallway, grab him, take him out, and hopefully we can get maybe Rusty can pull the ship around so we can just hop in and book it before they even know what hit him. So
Okay.
the idea is, scout the place out, find the most efficient place to blow a wall down, and then we're just going to try and get in and out as fast as possible. This isn't necessarily an assault mission. This is a hit and run, except it's a hit, grab, and run, more or less.
Okay, so this is sort of entry point then.
Yeah.
All right. Ba-ba-ba. That's that.
Yeah, so infiltration, and we need to determine an entry point.
Okay.
Is all.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if we want to maybe have Rusty with your spy gear. You can help Cronson see if we can get into the systems and see if we can find a way to locate Krantz with a hack, or if we want to maybe see if we can do just a skulk and look around and see if we can use some of the gadgets we have to our advantage.
Yeah, we can definitely utilize the spy gear. I am at 5 stress, so I only have 4 stress left. So if we want to save some of that for piloting afterwards.
Okay. Who has lowest stress right now?
Probably Audra.
Yeah, I only have 3.
I think Gizmo has the most. I think he's been
Yeah.
the most
I only
used
have
here.
I have 3 slots left.
Yeah, we're in the same boat then. All right.
We're all gonna die.
All right. This sounds like it might take a little bit longer than we have tonight. So I think this is probably a good stopping point because we have a plan. We know what we're going to be doing. And during the downtime, the IRL downtime between play sessions, you guys can kind of refine the plan and get every detail correct and all that.
I am ready.
So why don't we call it for this evening, and then next Monday we will get into the assault on the Chronalgar gang space. Sound good?
Sounds
Yep.
good.
Sounds good.
All right. In that case, thank you all for playing. Thank everybody for watching. Let's go ahead and do XP here.
All of it.
So, Mr. Mechanic.
It's me.
So, you rolled 1 desperate action, so you get to mark an XP in the action's attribute. And that was a sway, so that would be resolve. Secondly, did you address a tough challenge with technical skill or ingenuity? I think we can definitely mark a. I think we could definitely mark a 2. Does anybody have any arguments against that?
Nope, sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
And for those of us who are just joining, these are sort of like playbook things that you can look at on each of the different playbooks. They are at the bottom of the special abilities, colorful friends, etc. If you have the book. So that's 2, wherever you want to put those. And then, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I think I expressed my background with Zav there.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can give you 1 for that. But only because of the interactions that you had with Zav, and because you went and did his mission for him.
Yeah.
Having him as a contact doesn't necessarily gonna earn you.
No,
XP.
I meant the whole interaction there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that, just for 1. And then you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
I don't. I mean, I opened fire on people who weren't going to open fire. This seems pretty reckless. Oh my gosh, reckless. Want to talk about reckless? I put freaking porn all across the hotel.
Would either of you guys, would any of you guys think that that is
I don't
a
know.
reckless action?
I don't know. It seemed pretty safe, given his current position.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stops it, because it was just so stupid.
Opening
Seemed reckless
fire.
to me. The opening fire in particular seemed reckless.
Right, yeah.
To my character.
Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll go ahead and give you 1 for opening fire, but I think that'll be about it. And then that's you done.
Okay.
No desperate actions for the muscle man this time, but did you address a tough challenge with force or threats? I think for the same thing we just gave Cronson 1 for, I think you can definitely take 1 there.
Alright. Wouldn't call it a tough challenge, but that's semantics. Alright.
I mean, if you don't think it's a tough challenge, then that's fine.
I'm being a dick. Anyways. Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I'm unsure about that one.
Okay, we'll pass on it then. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during this session?
Vicious. I might argue 1, just for the reckless abandon, which may fit more with reckless, but there's a bit of vicious in there, I would think. When it came to just mowing them down, not much of a second thought. Not much of wasn't much action in this one. I believe it'll be remedied next session, but I'll put that one out there in case, just it's there. Depends on what you think.
Okay, what did the rest of you think? Because for Rusty, or new player here, if you mark all of your stress up, then you take a trauma, and the traumas are permanent, and they're cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, or vicious. Karn already has reckless, and Bon has vicious. So do you think that he was acting viciously? Like, do you think that he was going above and beyond the call of violence?
Yes.
When he shot the 2 guys through the head?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they seemed like they were ready to move out.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and take an XP for that then.
Yay.
Alright, and then that's you done. On to our pilot. No desperate action rolls, but did you address a tough challenge with speed or flair?
I think I sort of tried to use flair with some of the talking, but I'm not sure if that's enough to warrant a...
What do the rest of you think?
Could you repeat that, please? My headset cut out there.
I was asking him if I was asking Great Mustache if he thinks that Rusty addressed a tough challenge with speed or flair.
I would think flare, as his arms were noodles.
Yeah.
That's a unique flare.
I think the scene before, the scene before we opened fire, he definitely did do a decent job of calming them down, using his arms to talk, as was mentioned, and
I would like to mention
Trying
that flare and flailing are 2 different things.
yeah, that's the joke. Anyways, I do think that though that his sort of
It's a unique
his
flare.
fast talking and his mannerisms definitely played into that whole scene. But
Okay.
that's what I would say.
Okay, cool.
I'd give him a 1 for that. But
In that case, I'll go ahead and give you one. Next, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? I think you definitely did a couple of times there. Simply because you, not only the speech, but also the way you interacted with the Xenos at the entrance, as well as the way that you kind of like interacted the whole session, just in wonder and awe and checking everything out. So I think I can go ahead and safely give you 2 there.
Cool.
And of course, you could put, as long as it's not a desperate action roll, you can put these XP points anywhere. So you can put them in.
Oh, so I don't have to put them in Playbook Advanced. I can put them.
Correct. You can put them in Insight, Prowess, Resolve, or Playbook Advancement. And Playbook Advancement obviously gets you another special ability.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, if you wanted to better one of your stats to get more dice on it, that's totally fine.
Okay, I will. Well, I gotta get a thing completely filled before I can better the dice, right?
Correct. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during a session? You don't really have any trauma, so I don't really think you suffered from that.
Right, I don't have a vice right now. Well, yeah. There's something written in on the sheet, but I don't know if that's even written in correctly. It says Halcyon Downer Drug, Purveyor, Dr. Empathy.
Oh, okay, I remember what he was trying to do. So what he was thinking of doing is ending up picking up some of the drug habits that our former pilot, God, what was his name, Marcus, had. Marcus was kind of a twiggy, freaky kind of dude, and real asshole, which is why they dropped him off with his cut on the cove before, on their last mission, and picked you up. But the story was going to be, well, we might get into it next session
I won't worry about it
during the downtime. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be marking anything for that.
Right, no.
Okay. Next is Needles or Stitch. No desperate rolls from you, I don't think.
None for any of mine, I don't think.
Yeah. Did you address a tough challenge with insight or compassion?
No.
Okay. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Nope.
Okay. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during the session?
No.
Well, all right then. Easy in, easy out. In that case, let's go ahead and do our shoutros here, starting with DM Thunder.
Yeah, well, that happens to be my Twitter, so follow me on that if you want. It's undergoing some renovations, but do feel free to check it out if you want, and definitely check out the streams that are, or the game that I run every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/EFSFRaven. And by the by, due to some unfortunate absences, we are in fact looking for new players. So if you find the thing on Roll20, there's a forum and an LFG post. Definitely do check that out. You're looking for a game Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. There aren't many on Tuesday, so it should be fairly easy to find, and it's the one with me as the DM. So obviously, Roll20 name is Thunder. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Anyways, that's basically it for me. I don't do much else when it comes to social stuff. Maybe later. I don't know. Yeah. All done.
All right, cool. Cronson. Make sure you're not muted, buddy.
I am very much muted. All right. Anyway, hey everybody, my name is Chris, or Karn Cronson here, Mad Titan Kronos. is my username in pretty much everything. However, my Twitter, my official Twitter for my Twitch page is at the, with a capital T, Nerds Tavern, no apostrophe. And the Twitch is the same. We play every Saturday. We've had a couple breaks recently due to personal reasons and the holiday. However, this upcoming Saturday is one of our games, and we will be continuing off the story of the Intrepid Party. We've not come up with a name for them yet. I'm letting them figure it out organically themselves, although a few NPCs have asked what their group's called. So yeah, join us there Saturdays, starting 5 p.m. EDT, ending roughly 10 p.m. EDT. Sometimes we go a little bit earlier. Usually we try to hit 10 though.
Okay, cool. Needles, Aaron.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kodabuck. Instagram, Shaper on Fleek. That's pretty much it.
Weren't you putting out YouTube videos as well?
Yes, but if you follow my Twitter, I tweet about it every time I release a video.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Kodabuck on Twitter, Instagram, Shiba on Fleek. Next is our intrepid pilot here, Rusty, aka Great Mustache.
Yeah, I'm Great Mustache. Is what a lot of people know me by right now. I do a few shows of Open Legend that I currently broadcast on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/build and die. All the words spelled out, die, both as in dice and in you die sometimes. But I do a show on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. I used to do Wednesdays, but one of the guys we play with had a baby recently. So that show is kind of on hold. And my schedule is not anywhere near consistent because I typically travel 2 weeks and then I'm home 2 weeks. So it's kind of a little bit of an odd schedule. But you can catch a few shows on there, and I think that's about it. If you are interested in Open Legend RPG, over on the Open Legend Discord, I'm over there and often answer questions about the system.
All right, very cool, very cool. All right, and that is pretty much all of that. I am, of course, Sean, aka Mr. Shenanigans, and Ultra Lazuli here on Twitch. The VODs for this are going to be released 1 week after the stream takes place, so you'll see this on Twitch 1 week later. If there's ever a break, obviously it'll just resume the same schedule once the next stream goes up. But apart from that, you can find me here on Twitch every Monday at just about every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, whichever one it is. Playing more Scum and Villainy with these fine folks. If you are interested in the system, you can go to evilhat.com /home/scum-and-villainy and pick up a copy of the Scum and Villainy manual yourself. It is $35 USD. It's generally good for 3 to 6 players, 2 to 6 hours, 13 plus. It's good times. Good times. It's very much built upon the Blades in the Dark system, so if you're familiar with that or familiar with Apocalypse World games, this will come like second nature to you. But that's what we were just playing today, and I hope you guys can go out there and support them. Aside from that, work on synthesis is coming along pretty well. I've been putting in more effort on that recently. I've been feeling a lot more creative with some recent things that have been going on. But you can also find me on the Thursday stream with Great Mustache when he does his stream. I'm going to be starting up my own campaign. I don't know if it'll be streamed. I'll have to talk with my players about it, but we'll figure that out. But usually about 2 weeks out of every month, is going to be his stream, and I play Dragon off the Black there. Think that's about it. Oh, if you want to support the development of Synthesis, my brand new tabletop RPG system, you can go to patreon.com/synthesize, and it's entirely D6. It is setting and genre independent. It is narratively based, and I hope you like it. I hope you take a look at it at the very least and support it if you like what you see. And that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful start to your week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. This is Mr. Sean Anigans signing off. Over and out.